At first, I like to share the words of our founder, Shin Shonin. So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. この身は今は年極まりてそうらえば、定めて先立ちて往生しそうらわんずれば、浄土にて必ず待ち参らせ候べしと。My life has now reached the fullness of its years. It is certain that I will go to birth in the Pure Land before you. So without fail, I will await you there. ナモアミーダ仏。ナモアミーダ仏。ナモアミーダ仏。ナマンダ仏。ナンマンダ仏。ナンマンダ仏。Good morning, everyone. And welcome back to Oregon Buddhist Temple. And I missed seeing all of you in this Oregon Buddhist Temple. And before, I want to make sure you are real, right? So you are not in the frame anymore. So I hope you are not getting used to wearing fancy shirts on top and pajamas on the bottom, right? But I am sure everyone misses time of no need of driving and watching the service from the sofa with coffee in your hand. But it is nothing more than happier, getting together again in one place to hear the Dharma together. And we went online on March 15th, 2020. So it is a little over 2 years. And do you know how many days it was? No? It was about 740 days, right? So it's a really long time of not having in-person services. And I'm so glad to see everyone. And I hope those who have passed away in these 2 years were able to join us today. But, we cannot help it. And what motivated me for these 2 years is that hope that we are able to meet again in this Oregon Buddhist temple. Many people helped us to maintain the temple, and I really appreciate everyone who kept the temple clean, making sure the temple ground is safe and protected. And it is hard to say that these 2 years were good years, but one good thing about these 2 years is that we gained the experience of having services virtually. And now we are able to hold hybrid services, even though there are some technical issues sometimes. But I know some people from out of state, I mentioned some people, but they joined from Europe. And there are people who watch the service from Asia. And some people decided to join our temple because of the online appearances. So that is a great thing. And we only had about 100 subscribers of our YouTube channel 2 years ago. But now we have 1,170 people subscribed for our YouTube channel. And actually, this is second largest number we have in BCA. BCA temples, largest is Orange County Buddhist Church. They have about 1,300 something people. And we are the second largest YouTube channel. So that's really amazing. And I hope more people watches our contents and decide to join our temple. And hopefully they are able to visit us one day. Or maybe we can plan to visit them one day. But anyway, so the hope that we are able to meet again really motivated me these 2 years. And I believe it was the same for our founder, Shin Shonin. Shin Shonin entered the Pure Land Gate when he was 29 years old, discarding all the sundry practices he learned at Enryakuji Temple in Mount Hiei. And he entered the path of the single practice of Nembutsuge under Honen Shonin. And probably because of his enthusiasm and background as the scholar, Shin Shonin was allowed to copy Honen Shogin's masterwork, Senjakushu, and create Honen Shogin's portrait. And creating portrait in their time meant the succession of the teaching. So I could say that Shinran Shogin was considered as one of the successors of Honen Shogin's teaching. The copy of Senjakushu was also allowed to only few disciples of Honen Shogin, so that we can tell how Shinran Shogin was trusted by Honen Shogin. And I know the feeling that if we are learning something from a great teacher, we want to study under the teacher as long as possible. Beginning of the last year, last year, 2021, my Kung Fu teacher moved out of Portland. So I had to look for another teacher. But one of the teachers of the same lineage from LA, now he moved to Sacramento, but he was offering the online classes from almost the beginning of pandemic. So I was able to keep practicing and learning new things. And when I visit Sacramento, I go see him to learn and practice together. And also, I started learning Yan style Tai Chi under Master Gao Jiaoming. She is referred to as a Tai Chi Queen of China. So she moves just like water, and I hope I am able to learn under her as long as possible and learn really deep stuff of the Tai Chi. But there is no guarantee that the days under the teacher last forever. Not only the time with teachers, but the time with families and friends. And we are forced to learn this truth of impermanence during these 2 years. And back to the story of Shinran Shogin. Shinran Shogin had to experience separation from his teacher, Honen Shogin, in 1207, when he was 35 years old, because of the exile from Kyoto to different regions of Japan. And I am sure that what supported Shinran Shogin was the hope that they are able to meet again in the future. But unfortunately, they were not able to meet again physically. And actually, Honen Shogin was pardoned in 10 months, but he was not able to go back to Kyoto until 1211. And Shinran Shogin was pardoned in 1211. Probably he wanted to go back to Kyoto as soon as possible to meet Honen Shogin. But Shinran Shogin was not able to move from his area because of the heavy snow. Then, before Shinran Shogin was able to go back to Kyoto, Honen Shogin passed away in 1212 at the age of 80 years old. But the hope of Shinran Shogin never disappeared. He kept the teaching of Honen Shogin in his heart. And when he was alive, he taught his student, he means Honen Shogin, wherever you go, spread the teaching of Nembutsuge. Wherever you go, spread the teaching of Nembutsuge. So Shinran Shogin followed the guidance of Honen Shogin and taught the teaching of Nembutsuge until he passed away in 1273 at the age of 90. And one of his writings are written around 88 years old. So he was spending his energy to spread the teaching of Nembutsuge until the time of passing. So today's word I shared at the beginning is Shinran Shogin's words to one of his disciples. But I believe this is a word of hope of Shinran Shogin too. His teacher, Honen Shogin, attained birth into the Pure Land before him, and Honen Shogin is waiting him in the Pure Land. And probably this feeling gave him the motivation to share the teaching of Nembutsuge, which he learned from Honen Shogin, as much as he could while he is alive. And reading about the life of Shinran Shogin, I also feel the attitude of Shinran Shogin as lifetime student. I want to go see my teacher because I want to learn more And I am sure that Shinran Shonin learned a lot from Honen Shonin, but he always kept the attitude as the student and wanted to see Honen Shonin, to hear the teaching more and learn more about the Dharma. So to me, we have, retired Minister Reverend Kobata here today too. But to me, having everyone in this Hondo, it's so great because everyone is the teacher of life. And everyone is the teacher to each other. Everyone's figure of enjoying the teaching of Nembutsu and living peacefully through the life of Nembutsu is great figure as a teacher. And I'm not saying that everyone should say like, I am teacher to you, so you should respect me, right? But if we have the attitude as the student and see everyone as the teacher of life, I am sure that we are able to nurture the mind of humbleness. And I believe the mind of appreciation arises from the mind of humbleness. So now we are back in Hondo, and those who are participating in the services via Zoom can see Sangha in Hondo. So these 2 years, we have limited people who we saw often, but now we have a lot of teachers to learn from. And I am really looking forward to share what I have learned from my teacher and enjoy the teaching of Nembutsu together with all of you. And hopefully we don't need to stop in-person service again, and we are able to gather here almost every Sunday. So thank you all for attending today's service. And in closing, please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. And for the online people, sorry for not having the audio for the first half of the service, but please join me in Gassho. My life has now reached the fullness of its years. It is certain that I will go to birth in the Pure Land before you. So without fail, I will await you there. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.